How are you guys? I thought I would show you quickly here how to draw a box. So our cube, so our template. And the measurements you're gonna need 2.5 by 2.5. That's the size of the box. You see this like pink line right here? I have that on my drawing paper because my drawing paper is slightly larger than a printer paper, and I think most of you will have the size that's inside of this pink box. Just ignore everything on the outside there. You can use printer paper, drawing paper, cardboard, construction paper, or line paper, or graph paper. It's your choice on what you want to use for your project. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your ruler and you're going to divide your paper in half. We're having our picture or paper here, landscape. So you're going to do it on each side. Do the same thing here at 4. What we're going to do is we're going to draw a very light pencil line connecting those two dots. This will help us to know close to the center of our paper is. Then what we're going to do is we're going to use the edge of our paper to start, and then we're going to move down. We're going to make a little tab on our box, and the tab is 1/2 inch thick. I'm just going to make a little mark, and I'm going to do that a couple of times here just so that I can make sure I have a straight line when I go to draw my line. We need 4 boxes. 2 1/2 inches. Okay, so if I'm looking at my ruler, I have 1 inch, 2 inch, and then right in the middle of 3 and 2 is my 1/2 inch. So I'm going to make a little mark right there. Then I can move my ruler down, and I'm going to go count 1, 2, and then 1/2. Make another little mark. This again, 1, 2, and 1/2, and then lastly 1, 2, and 1/2. Now, what does that leave us? That leaves us an extra 1/2 inch. We need that 1/2 inch, just like we did here. So we've got that 1/2 inch here. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to bring it to the side a little bit. This will help me to make a straight line on my when I'm drawing my lines across. Now what I'm doing here is I'm not moving my ruler down. From 2.5, if I add another 2.5, it becomes 5. And if I add another 2.5, it becomes 7.5. And if I add another 2.5, it becomes 10. So 2.5, 5, 7.5, 10. So what I'm going to do now is I need to go 2.5 inches wide as well, because remember it's 2.5 by 2.5. So I've got my 2.5 in length, but now I just need width. What is 1/2 of 2.5? 1/2 of 2.5 is 1 1/4, right? I see a 1, and then I have 1/4 is right there. I'm going to line up my ruler on that 1/4 mark, and I'm going to make a little tick mark there. You can move your ruler down to 1/4. We're going to move down again, maybe closer to the center of my paper. I'm going to make a mark. I'm going to line up my ruler on 1 1/4, which is right about there. I'm going to make a little tick mark. And then I'm going to move it over so that I can remember 1 1/4. Make another tick mark. All right, and then we're going to go down here. We're going to do the same thing. Now, all I've got to do is I got to connect things, connect the dots. That's it. I'm going to take my little tick marks. I'm going to line them up, and I'm going to draw edge to edge of the paper. Now, I'm going to do the same thing over here. Boom. Now I'm going to divide up my box. Connect these dots. Okay, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes. Go ahead and erase if I'd like. Okay, This is what it's going to look like. And it has these little flaps on the end that you fold. Well, you want to take off the corner. Take off the corners, and now you can erase that little spot if you want to. Perfect. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to draw a box going this way and a box going this way. Our box is 2 1/2, a little tick mark. I'm going to do the same thing here, 2 1/2, and make a little tick mark. So I do need a little tab on this end, so I'm going to add a little 1/2 inch. Okay, just like this. Now I have that little thing, and a trick to get this line straight is all you have to do is line up this ruler edge to already your straight line that you already measured, and then you're going to draw just to the tick mark.
Boom, straight line. How convenient is that?
Same thing. Boom. Done. Straight line here. And a straight line here. Perfect. Now I've got to draw a box going this direction.
2 1/2 inches.
Boom. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and do a straight line across. It's going to have them on one on each side, just like this. A 1/2 inch. And a 1/2 inch. And then I'm going to draw a straight line as straight as I can. And then I'm going to do those little tabs. Remember how we did that? That will help us to curve that corner. Then we've got to put a little tab right here. These are our glue tabs. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make each one of these boxes into the elements and principles of design. And you can put them in any box you want, okay? So maybe this is box number 1, and we're going to put number 1 here. And then this is 2, and we're going to put 2 here. And this is 3, and we're going to put 3. But remember, good craftsmanship, junior high coloring. That means I'm doing a very, very good job. Also do a mixed media. So maybe do, if you have acrylic paints, maybe you do acrylic paints here and marker here and
Colored pencil and crayon and pastel and paint.
So it's your choice on how you want to finish those off. Okay, for this section, you're going to need scissors. You're going to need some tape or glue. I would have hot glue be your very, very last resort. I would use the white glue, glue stick, or tape first. If you only have hot glue, then that's your choice. So we'll just set that to the side. What we're going to do is you're going to have colored everything first. You're going to have designed it and colored it, made it all pretty. After you're done doing that, then we're going to cut it out. Now cutting out is just as much of the process of making it look pretty as coloring or painting it. So you want to go slow and take your time. Look at these crazy scissors. Aren't these crazy? They're kind of hard to work, but that's the only ones I got. So you're going to just carefully, look how slow I'm going. I'm carefully cutting these straight lines out. And this one right here, you want to make sure you go into the corner, right where that line is, because that's going to help this fold really, really crisp and clean. So you want to make sure you go all the way down to that line right there. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to fold all my lines.
I fold the pretty side.
So this is the side that's all your art on it. Now I'm going to go ahead and fold. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold on all my lines. So you just bring up this side and we're going to glue that on there. So I'm going to go ahead and take glue and put it on this tab right here. Making sure the edge is lined up nicely. Do the same thing here. You can do it in whatever order you want. Then what you're going to do is then you're going to photograph it and then turn it in. Bye.